Looks like I'm in. Okay, good. Here we are. Here we are. Hi, Yolanta. How are you?
Hey, Shantae.
Oops, I can't hear you, Yolanta. Hi, Shantae. Got Carrie.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
Busy, but a good, successful day.
Good.
Successful day.
So happy to hear that. I'm just waiting for Carrie to join. I've admitted her. Looks like it's taking a moment. Okay, there she is. There we go. Hi, Carrie.
Hello, I've just realized how dark I am. I'll try and fix that. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
That's not really helping.
Just getting started. So hopefully a few more people will join. I'm not sure if they will or not, but we can get started.
Sorry, I'm so dark. Is that okay, or do you want me to move?
It's up to you, love.
Okay, if you guys don't mind, I'll just stay here.
We know that you're beautiful.
Aren't we all?
Okay. Well, I say we get started, and there's no time like the present. How's everyone doing tonight?
Great.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. And so has anyone, or let's put it this way, how many people have read the chapter? It was a short one. All right, Shantae, yay, Yolanta, good. And Carrie, did you read the chapter?
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Yeah, I read more, and I have read it before, so it was my second go through, but I didn't finish it.
Good. Yeah, it was a pretty short one compared to the next chapter. So anybody have any questions they'd like to ask before we get started, or thoughts, shares? Okay.
Any exciting experiences with what we've been reviewing? Anything that
Yeah.
has stuck regarding reality transurfing? So good. Yes, Carrie.
I had to set a new goal because I got the stuff I needed done for my business, and I got my new home, and everything was working well. So I decided it was about time to start addressing weight loss. But I know that I can't think about what the steps are going to be, because that's just never worked for me before anyway. So I just had to throw it out there and have the intention and visualize and everything. Well, it's been probably about 3 weeks now. I went to see my trainer, who I've been seeing since September. He started doing this lymph drainage stuff, and 5 pounds has dropped off just like that.
Boy.
So I didn't have to worry about how it was going to happen. That was up to him. So I've got to not get excited about it, not activate the balancing forces so that it all comes back on.
Hey.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
And hello, Daniela. Great to have you tonight.
Good. Okay, so how shall we play this round? This is an interesting round. It was kind of like a practical, right? medicine, we have all these meetings when we gather and we said a patient came with this and told us this. This is how this was, I thought. It was somebody sharing, their life, their experiences, and then, Vadim, bring some insight into what's going on. So I think it's a great way to review some of the concepts that we've been reviewing and put them into practical terms. I thought that was the best way to do it. So who wants to venture at that run of bad luck? Share. Come on, let's take it. Who wants to volunteer? Let's go for it. Remember what was the story? Let's play it like that. What was the story? What was this person's story? And then how did he reminded us of some of the principles of reality transurfing? Daniela, do you have the chance to review that chapter?
A little bit a couple of days ago. You have to
Good.
refresh my memory on the
Well,
specific story that you're talking about.
the first letter is entitled, the first section is entitled A Run of Bad Luck. And it's, if I remember correctly, anybody remember the story? It's pretty kind of straightforward. Somebody that says, hey, I was doing great. Everything was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And
But the person had some beliefs that it wasn't going to last, or,
There you
yeah.
go. So that was the first thing that he highlighted, right? Oh, I was doing so great. Everything was really good, but I knew it wouldn't last, And sure enough, not too long after, bang, it hit me. And he was saying, what is that thing? I was doing my best, things were good, but having, it keeps saying there are moments in life when I've been truly happy, and thank God for it, and make sure that everything stays positive and stuff, So what is all this contradiction? So what were some of those? What are, so I guess Chantal, you will volunteer the first part. So and I think these are just reflections for us. When in our life we sabotage our own success, right?
Yeah.
Everything's going so well, and we said, this cannot be true. Or, anything, somewhere we're like, this is not going to last. Oh my goodness, all this income that's coming, all this great thing, all these great relationships, so much fun, vacation, thing great. Nah, something's going to come and mess it up. Have you all done something like that? Or haven't we all somehow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of sayings, around that, waiting for the shoot or the other shoe to drop, things, things are going great. And for some reason, there's some place in the background just waiting for it all to explode, or implode or whatever. But I think it's just become so prevalent in the way we, behave in the world, because I guess, I don't know, maybe when I was in preschool things were going good, and then somebody took my toy and broke it, and who knows.
Yes. Yeah. So it's all those imprints, right? In terms of experiences or beliefs, especially the beliefs. We hear it from those around us that beware. I was one of those. I was really, really one of those. I was always so ready to receive the impact from whatever was coming. Kind of being ready, right, in case things go really, really bad, really south, And that's what he keeps highlighting, right? Beware of those attitudes. Beware of those thoughts, because, why? Because what's the most powerful way to manifest? We know.
Think about it.
Focusing.
Think. This is one, and the other one is
Feel.
heart.
Yeah.
So always remember that. This is a reminder, external intention, which is the art of manifesting with ease, right? Without having to work. It's like the 5 pounds that disappear magically, right? That happens when we're thinking about something fully and we're feeling it fully, right? That alignment that brings it. You know, and somewhere in the chapter, we're going to be diving into we're going to be reminded of this as well. Worried is the best way to manifest things in a negative way. Yeah. Whenever we worry, why? Because what if this happens? And then you start thinking of all the possible ways it could go bad. Remember, that's pure alignment of mind and soul, right? Or heart. And then the power for that to manifest is huge, right? So it reminds us precisely of that. Be aware. Where else in our life? And this will be a good moment to say, where in my life do I do that? Where in my life do I sabotage something that's going really good? So instead of saying, oh, when is this going to finish? We should always saying more, right? How could it be better? So one is that reminder. And I think he puts it, he reminds that the world is a mirror of our relationship to it. The world is a mirror. So you will put outside whatever in front of us, the mirror. We're going to be diving next time that we meet. It's all about mirrors, you know, mirror world, which is quite interesting. It's a very long chapter, by the way, but it's lots of fun. Okay. How the outside is a reflection of all the stuff that's inside. So it's going to be probably a great opportunity to dive and find some of those things that we have hidden ourselves. You know, whenever you want to see how you're doing inside, just look at what you see outside of you. How are things going? You know, the different aspects of your life. That outside, or the people that you see, or the things that know you the most, those are reflections of what's going inside, right? So that's part number one of this. The bad luck. What was the reminder with bad luck as well? What do you remember when you talk about bad luck? Bad luck is a decision.
Yes.
It's something that we choose to call bad luck or not. We could have said, maybe there's something good after this. He was saying, after something good, don't say something bad is going to happen. Get used to say after something good, something better is coming. You see the difference? We tend to say, ooh, something bad is coming. No, there's something better. So even if something that appears to be negative or unpleasant or undesirable appears, the art is to use that principle of coordination. Remember, coordination is how do we look at anything that happens as something good? Even if we don't have power over what's going on and it is unpleasant, yet we still choose to give it a positive connotation, right? Because the more that we stay on that positive connotation, then we're going to stay on that sector of positive, right? And something else will align, or something good will come out of what appeared to be a negative experience, even if it was incredible lessons, right? To do better the next time. Does that make sense? Any shares or comments on that?
Is one of my favorite lines from one of the Matrix movies is when Morpheus says, everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to have happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way. And I tend to try to remember that, because sometimes I want things or think things that should have happened in some way other than it did. But if that were the case, then it would have.
Yeah, thank you. There's this, Daniela, you were going to share something. You know, you were.
I was just going to say that for me, over the years and different experiences, I kind of come to my conclusion that it's all a matter of perception and how you perceive something, that whatever is happening, whether it's going to be, you know, bad luck or good luck, and it's whatever you make it, and then whatever you make of it. So yeah, you could be riding the high wave, everything's going great, but inevitably there's going to be a challenge that comes up. But if you're going to look at it as bad luck and, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Then that's going kind of down the negative slope, as opposed to looking at it, okay, well, here's another challenge in my life path, and find ways of dealing with it and learning from it, and then move on to the next one. Because there's no life, I don't believe, that is perfect and happy and on top of the world all the time, right? I think you can get into like downward spirals of negativity and so-called bad luck, where something negative keeps happening one after the other. And I've been there too. And it was hard to kind of scrape out of that, but eventually you do.
Thank you. Right. I agree. And it's funny, you just said, I don't think there's a life where it's perfect all the time.
Yeah, that's
well, beware of that. That's a belief. There is no life that is perfect all the time. Why not?
Because then you don't have the duality, right, of life. Life is our experience. Again, it's my belief, my perception.
No,
that there's duality. And the trick, I guess, is to find that balance, to find peace with whatever comes.
I think in one section of this chapter, he talks about somebody saying something like that, that his life is not perfect in all aspects, that there's always one aspect that is bad. And Vadim, the author, says, well, that's your idea. Life could be perfect in all aspects. So that's where when you said life is not perfect all the time, like, well, it's a belief, And the beauty of it, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. You remember, there's no right or wrong here. Please remember, I'm just, always the intention is to be aware that and I hope you guys will call me on any ways of speaking or any thoughts or beliefs that I may have and say, hey, what is that about too? Okay. But remember, we all have so many beliefs that we don't even know why we believe them, why we use them. And the question, the game here is to just become more and more aware of those beliefs, and then maybe question them or laugh at them, or maybe just twist them a little bit, which is what I see you doing. It's like, it's an interpretation. You just said, when something appears to be bad, when something appears to be so perfect, we do still have power over the meaning that we give to that. And we can make it perfect in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Even though things are unpleasant, we can still give the meaning and stay on controlling the essence, the meaning of it, so we can stay on a positive sector and a positive vibration and move along. So it's a game of words too, I recognize it. But the ultimate idea is just be mindful of whenever we said, oh, things going to be perfect all the time. Oh, why not? Yolanda, sounds like you're
boring.
Oh, what is that, Daniela?
It would be boring. There'd be no challenge if everything was perfect all the time.
Oh,
right?
I see where you're coming from. Okay.
I don't know, like how would a human being then grow or expand if everything is just perfect and there's no striving for any higher attainment of anything,
right?
Or even inner growth. Like, I don't know. I guess that's my belief, is that it's an ongoing journey. God knows how many times we have to come here to do it.
Yes, it is definitely an ongoing journey. I agree with that. Yes, a reminder that we still have control. If we're aware enough, awareness is the big thing, right? Awareness is the big thing. So just be aware, and move along. Any other thoughts about that section on a run of bad luck? I think the other concept that was powerful here was the mind's own script. We get very upset when things just don't go the way we want them. He talks about the mind's own script. And it's that struggle, that continuous struggle that we all have for controlling. And when things don't go the way we want them, that's when stuff happens. Yeah, right? And yeah, go for it, Karen.
That's what I've been observing lately, is my complete intolerance and impatience with dealing with financial institutions. I expect it to be horrible. It is horrible. Of course it is, because I expect it to be horrible. If I took a couple of deep breaths and decided I was going to have a pleasant interaction with this poor person who has to deal with me at the other end, it might not be so horrible, but my degree of frustration and lack of control of this nonsense, it's from 0 to 100, just like that. And I've been watching it. And today I was probably only to 80, but it's just, that's where I catch myself. It's when things don't work the way I want them to work, when I want them to work. It's not pretty.
So, but that's the practice, right? That's the beauty of all this. This potential being aware of it is saying, the reminder here is the concept of importance, right? It's me. It should be done the way I want it. And, forget the world. It's just the way I want it, right? Which you just share kindly, So it's importance, self-importance, and then the other world. Oh, they are idiots. They don't know how to do this. So we assign values to things instead of just, flowing, go with the flow and accept things. But,
And remembering and reminding myself that they're human people and they're trying really hard to do their job. And when I'm this horrible bitch because this didn't work when I want it to work, it's really not fair on them either.
Right. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah. So the reminder is to make a choice, choose something, right? And then get out of the way. You started actually sharing that one, right? Whatever you chose, it's I'm gonna lose weight, whatever it is that you chose to be, and then just get out of the way. How's it gonna happen? Of course, take some action, but it's just don't expect it's gonna be X amount of pounds by this day at this time in this way and all this stuff, right? Cool. Any other shares on that? Yolanda, you always have some great insights on this our run of bad luck section.
Yeah, well, I kind of start liking myself more and more in that aspect, because I am able to catch myself more often and see myself as a prisoner of my own visions of the reality, the prisoner of my habits, and wanting it to bend it to my mind, and that always ultimately is always the source of the suffering, right? Because so I am much more aware of it, and because of that, things are going very well. The life is perfect. Sorry, Daniela, I don't mean to start a fight, but it could be perfect, and if we insist on holding on to duality, the duality could be just a picture. It could be a vision that doesn't have to be realized, right? We don't have to materialize the polarity or the duality. And like Vadim said, definitely we just choose the side of the polarity that we want to be on. And I think he said somewhere that I read it, that how important it is to practice on small things. And really, I think the reality transurfing can be kind of overwhelming, right? Because we have all these goals, right? We want to realize this, we want to realize that, right? So earlier, I remember Juan, that still totally like stuck with me, that having the goals broken into the 7 F's, right? Was actually six, and I add fucking, excuse me, as the goal number 7, right? So so that makes it, a little bit easier, breaking our goals into the 7 different categories. And, so what I did, I kind of assigned a goal for each day, okay? And I would kind of just play with it and like play small. So for instance, yesterday was like my family goal. And so I kind of like visualize, what I wanted to visualize, to have, more interactions, with my children. And I'm sitting home, it's my day off, and I'm catching up on my charts, and then, all of a sudden, my daughter's boyfriend is texting me, and he's texting me, and then he's calling me, and he wants to talk to me. So, after I was done with him, then, my daughter started. So, I'm talking to her, I'm texting her. And then something that almost never happens, like towards the end of the day, my son, he's texting my husband that he wants to FaceTime, like, yeah, let's do it. It's 11 o'clock, it's dark, he's a cop. So he's in his car somewhere in the, in the very, very dark area. And, and he just wanted to talk. And that was really all, I just tuned myself into something. So then I was like, okay, let me just play with it today and like see what happens, So Thursday on, I said, okay, so it's gonna be like my career goal. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of, cause I'm like older, 30 years old. So, at some point my career goals might have to change. So I've been kind of like playing with it, how to do it. Obviously, well, I want to do it smarter. I want to do less work, but, I'm still not in my financial goals. And no, I don't want to like totally relearn stuff. I know a lot of stuff already. So I want to use and this and that. So I went to the hospital early this morning because I had a meeting, which was wow. But, but it went well. And, and then I'm in the department, there were some charts, I had to sign. And then Debbie, well, Juan knows Debbie. And she says, Dr. Borowski, I think you should get a raise. Like out of the blue, I don't even know if this will ever materialize, but like hear it from her. I was just like checking, and I know we had a lot of doctors that they were coming to the hospital, and I had to review a lot of applications. So I said, oh yeah, Debbie, that thought crossed my mind when I was on my application number 43. So when she said that, I was like, wow, so this is exactly the point I'm trying to make, that seriously it does work, and the way to see it is when we go like those little things and we'll do it for fun, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh Jesus, is this real? And and it is real, and it's just so funny. It's just like wonderful. So that's all I wanted to say.
That was awesome. Was that helpful? Was that fun to see it down to earth? You simple goals. I love that. So I love that approach. Okay, what is something that I want for today? What's a simple goal? Connect with my family. And then, you imagine what that is, and then it just happens. Or even financially, and where's it going to come from? You never know. That's what it is, right? What is it that you want? Then feel it fully. enjoy it, and then release the grip, to release the control. It needs to happen in this way, and it will manifest. And I guess the lesson is we could keep it simple, but that's one way to look at it. But there are also the bigger goals. Don't just stick to simple, but as a practice, as a daily achievement. I think that was lovely, isn't it? Down to earth, where you see all these different things. That's really, really fun. So that's good. Any other shares like that? That's fun. That's always fun. Yes, Carrie.
I did manifest a couch in the last couple of weeks. I knew I wanted a new sofa so I could move the futon into my office. And I just kind of kept thinking about what it was I wanted and refining it. And sure enough, it popped up on Facebook Marketplace for $100. And when I reached out to the girl, she wanted me to come, but I couldn't come for a couple of days. And when I went there, she said, I'm so glad you like it because I wanted you to have it because I really liked you. And there was actually no reason for her to have had that feeling from our interaction. It was a very boring, what's your address? Is the couch still there? It held it for me until I could get there with my daughter. And it's beautiful. It's like this practically new $600 couch for $100. And it easily arrived in my home.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's the practice. Remember, we've talked about it. We talk about goals. I think we're going to probably talk more about goals later, but the goal should be something that we really want to experience. Right? It's an experience. Don't be distracted by the means, the money, alone. It's not just about the money. It's what you're going to, the experience, right? You're going to enjoy the sitting, the gathering with other people around, the experience of spending time with the family or whatever else it might be. So it's really, really fun. So maybe there'll be a good thing, a good reminder. Maybe we could play that. Let's practice this. So how is it that we practice, bring up any goal like the one Jolanta just said? First, we relax. So let's do it. Let's sit comfortable just for the heck of it. So a quick reminder on how the RT way of doing it. There are many other ways, whatever you choose to, but it's just get comfy, relax. Do a scan from head to toe, slowly from your head. See where there's tension, your forehead, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your back, your belly, your arms. Is there any tension anywhere? On purpose, release it. Tend your hips, pelvis, your thighs, knees, legs, feet and toes. Then remember the meridians. Remember the energy. Remember we talk about energies that go in front and behind our spine. Imagine this big channels of energy going all the way from tip on earth all the way up to the sky. And then going down as well. These are all the channels of energy that flows continuously through us. So enjoy playing with it. If you cannot feel them, then just imagine a light going in front of your back and behind your spine, the spine. And breathe, deep breath. You are mindful of how stressed you are not now, because you should be relaxed. And as you indulge in this energy and your body being relaxed, now you choose a goal. Whether it's something small, something for tomorrow, or is it something bigger that you're working towards? See it all achieved. Step into it. Stay relaxed And keep the awareness of your meridians, the energy flows up and down. But now start seeing the things, or the thing, or the people, the spaces that you're looking forward. Be aware of what you see as it's all achieved. Look to one side, look to your left. How does it look? The front, the side. It's all achieved. It's like, whoa, yes. Touch whatever it is that you wanted, that you've wanted. Experience it. What are the colors? How many people are there? How's this? Is it a thing? Is it a home? Is it a place? How does it look? How does it feel to be there already? If it's a person, how does it feel to interact with this person, be with this person? Something that you want, something you're eating, that you're enjoying, whatever it is. How does it feel to just taste it, feel it, smell it? What thoughts do you have as you see this goal fully achieved? Are you still saying this is not possible? No, hope not. Hope you're saying, wow, yes, I know it. Really, be bold, step into this reality where your goal is fully achieved. Be aware of your thought, your mind. What's the emotion? You excited? Are you calm? Are you aware? You're nervous? Are you like overwhelmed? Like, I can't believe this is it. Wow. Or maybe you're like, I didn't know it was this simple. This is it, huh? Really cool. Look, I did it. I achieved that certification, that degree, the title, whatever it is that you're looking for. Keep your meridians open. Keep enjoying this space. Just celebrate. Celebrate having achieved your goal, seeing it fully realized. And whatever arose in you as you experience it. Take a deep breath, and whenever you're ready, just open your eyes and come back. Now, what would you say from this place of knowing that your goal is already achieved? How would you speak? You achieved the goal, right? You saw it all. You felt it, you experienced it, you thought about it. Now that you know it, how would you speak about it now? Give it a shot. Who wants to give it a shot? Carrie. Speak from that. Speak from the place that you already know that it's achieved. You know, what would you say? What was your experience? What is it? Whatever it is, it's already done. It's not that I will achieve it. No, that's history. It's already done.
Present tense. It's just present tense achieved. It's just, yeah. that what you mean?
What do you as you experience it as if it's already achieved, like your couch, right?
Yeah.
Couch is already achieved. So you enjoy the space. You love how it looks in your room. You love all this time that you're having with friends and family, because it's such a nice, nurturing space. So if it was a certificate, I'm already certified. I graduated. It feels great to have achieved this. That's what it is. In my case, is this teaching, to other doctors. So it's just great having an incredible interaction. Okay, this is another training that just finished. Okay, where docs, were able to learn some skills that will help them be even more powerful. Okay, and help their patients as they move forward. Have other sources of income. Okay, and they're all so excited and looking forward to implement them because we had such a great time. And it was such a pleasure to inspire them, to help them, through this. That's kind of my way of looking at it, my experience already achieved as I completed my training with them. So Shante, what will be yours?
So doors have been coming up a lot in this book and another group that I'm in. And one of the things that he says is there is an abundance provided people are walking through the doors that are theirs to walk through. And I just see myself walking through the doors of my home. And you are invited, because I will be that friend with a swimming pool, Juan, so you don't have to have one. Is that what you said last time? That you don't need a swimming pool. You'll just have friends who have one.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Julia was sharing too there. You all read it. Beautiful. Daniela, how do you speak when you know your goal is already achieved?
Oh, I'm feeling great that I'm part of a big project to provide more housing to people. So I'm really happy about this unit that's going to be 22 units instead of the 4 that are there now.
It's done.
So it's
through this exercise,
it's
21. Oh, there are no 4 units as of now. The 4 units are the newest achievement.
they're done. They're bulldozed, and 22 brand new units are up.
On the way. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's how it is. Beautiful. Cindy.
Well, I see myself giving some self-defense seminars to many, many women, and I see it already done. It started, it's continuing, and women are loving it, and I'm empowering them, and they are really embracing the training.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Jolanta, what's your newest goal already done?
So like I said, I kind of keep thinking small, but consistently. And so, whenever I visualize my goal for tomorrow, and it's, what I feel, I think the best way I could describe it would be just the amazement. It just, I just keep being amazed how, how things are happening. And it's not that, when you see, oh, okay, that happened, I kind of feel like I am physically moved from where I am to where I am. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
where I was maybe a split second to where I am now. You know, you kind of you know, so there's that amazement and you feel that shift that you that you're moving, that you know you you are you know leaving a one reality and you going to the other one, and it's like and then like, you know, wow, yeah, that's when I want to be right now, you know, right here, right now, you know, at this point. And then, you know, from there I can, you know, now I can go here, or I can go here. And it's these are like my experiences of you know, of visualizing my goal and then actually seeing it to you know, to materialize that.
Beautiful.
You know.
Thank you. Thank you. So just remember, whatever your goal is, something that inspires you, gets you excited, is your thing. You know, it feels good. Remember what we reviewed on those chapters on soul and mind? Whenever it's yours, it just feels good. It's a yes, there's no doubt. You don't have to convince yourself about it, right? It's yours. And the doors is the method to achieve it, right? The way, which is different from each of us. And that's what Shante was referring to. And yeah, so the exercise here is just to be bold and see it fully achieved. Because when that happens, when we know that it's all achieved, then it becomes a thing of the past that we're moving forward to. Remember the last chapter? That's what it was all about. You know, once it's all achieved, it's like so much easier to go back to those times. Like some of us, when we look back at our childhood, what incredible experiences that we had, like, oh, you can just go back and immediately be there, right? Remember when you were with somebody you love, when you were young, with your friends of childhood or school or something, and have all those experiences. Well, the idea is similar with this. Your goal, once you really savor it, you know, enjoy it, you know, then it's so much easier to say, oh yeah, I know how it feels. You know, you can connect with that experience very quickly. Good. All right, let's drop that run of bad luck and so on. What about partners? The little section on partners. Who has some interest on this adventure with partners? Those were powerful lessons about partners, right? Would you agree? What were some of the takes on partners? A few reminders. What were some of the things that stuck? Why do we run into trouble with partners? And this is not just intimate partners, obviously. This, you know, business partners, all kind of and interactions. Even here, when we try to change somebody. Yes, Daniela.
Yeah, I think like Carrie kind of touched on that with her reaction with things on, you know, stuff isn't happening that you want it to happen. Your partner or your situation isn't, you know, coming up to snuff to what you want or what you expect. So there becomes that friction, or that challenge or opportunity to come to terms with it, or to peace, or to deal with it in some way.
Indeed. So again, expectations, you're right.
Yeah.
But the other big thing is just accepting who we are, the way we are, accepting ourselves. Okay, not wanting to change. Because remember, pendulums are all the time pressuring us to change, to have a new hairstyle, the new latest costume, I call it, the latest car, the latest home, the latest all this stuff. Everybody go be like that, you know, actor, singer, whatever famous person, speak this way, say it this way, think it this way, do it this way, right? Instead of accept yourself. But the other part in relationships is accept the other person the way they are. And it is challenging, right?
Yeah.
Especially when we're close to somebody, we really want them to be the way we want them to be. What about kids? We want our kids the way we want them to be. They should be doing this. I taught them to do this and do this. How come they don't do it? Instead of recognizing they're conscious beings with choice as well.
Yeah, that's what stood out for me. I don't remember the exact words, but the truth that I have a right to choose, and so does the other person.
Yeah, I think that in relationships, I think that's the key, right? Is how, to what point am I trying to convince this person to do something different, or to be somebody that she or he's not, right? No, they're not. They're just who they are. And hello, if I've been with this person for decades and now I'm still trying to convince her to change her, why? It's never been different. Why? Accept them, love the way it is. That's a powerful lesson, yet difficult to do, because we want them to do. You shouldn't be doing that. Well, still do it. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna love them, or just, so it's very, very interesting. So it comes with awareness, right? He says awareness. When we're aware, like Carrie was saying, when we're aware, then it's easier to deal with it. Because when we're not aware, then the annoyance, the irritation comes, and all these other emotions build up, leads to that reaction, right? And the moment we start feeling those things, balancing forces come in and everything gets a lot bigger. But what is interesting is, in somewhere in those dynamics, the more that we try to change people, the more then we attract people that are completely opposite to us. And then we end up in relationships that get really messy because we continue doing that stuff. It's quite interesting when you start diving there in the fact that because we're continuously trying to change others, then we bring into a relationship somebody who's completely the opposite of ourselves, and we tend to run into trouble. And it's not like it's bad to be with somebody that's different than you, of course. It's just the matter of accepting him or her the way they are, right?
I would like to add also, Juan, that it has to, or it needs to also come to a degree of what is acceptable. You cannot just carte blanche accept another person for whatever they are if they are being abusive or, in some kind of a manner that would be harmful to you or your children. So you can't stay in a partnership if there's that kind of stuff going on and say, oh, well, I'm just going to accept whatever comes, it's supposed to come. I think that's a pretty dangerous thing to try to say to people, to just accept.
Right. Well, remember,
Yeah,
there's a person that loves and accepts herself, and he also chooses whom to be with.
Yeah, but you don't always know that person is capable of doing those kind of things until maybe you're in the relationship, years down the road, because people also change.
I think there was somewhere, I don't know if it was, I'm thinking it was this book or something that said that sometimes people in these situations, they get in their mind that they don't have a choice or that there's no way out. And that goes back to what we were saying about everybody has a right to choose. And if they could start from the place of, I choose to get out of this situation, then maybe there will be some doors that can open up for the support to come in, for them to get out of that situation. So it's not about just accepting someone's bad behavior, and letting them be who they want to be if it's detrimental to yourself or to your children. It's about knowing that everybody has a right to choose. So if, I get frustrated in my marriage all the time, but I realize also that I have a choice. I could choose to just, say, you know what? I'm putting too much importance on something trivial. I'm not being hurt here or anything. And I can either decide that, you know what, this marriage is worth it to me and stay in it and not have so much importance, or say, you know what, I don't really want to do this anymore. But I'm still the person who has to choose for myself.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for all those clarifications there. Awesome. Anything else in relationships? What else came to mind? Those for me was essentially accepting, understanding, and yeah, being aware. Being aware.
They're challenging. Very challenging.
I was thinking the same thing, and then I thought, that's a belief.
That's reality.
I'm glad I didn't say that. Otherwise, it would be a double whammy on Danielle. I don't like, no.
I know. But there are people out there who are having amazing relationships that aren't challenging. So that's always the thing. Yeah, I can look out in the world and see like tons of people having challenges in relationships, but I can also look out into the world and see people who are just having these amazing relationships that aren't challenging. And so again, it comes down to what am I choosing? And I think most of the time, again, I'm just going to speak for myself. Most of the time, the challenge has to do with me putting so much importance on things that are just so trivial. One of the things that he says in here is that most people get divorced over like silliness, like trivial things, not even anything that's important or meaningful, just little irritations. But the little irritations, which I know I experience, come from the importance of the wanting to control, like we were just talking about, wanting someone to do things the way you want them to do it, instead of saying, hey, this is an individual with, a mind of their own. I didn't marry somebody because they were a clone of me. Let it go, and I struggle with that. I struggle with letting go. But I don't have to, right? That's why I'm here, because I choose to make a new decision. I choose to make a new choice about it. So
Beautiful. Thank you. I love this. Yes, Carrie. Of course, please jump in.
On that point, Shantae, there was a beautiful couple where my kids went to school, elementary school. They clearly loved each other. They had a really great relationship. She was stunningly gorgeous, and he would every day say, wow, I am so lucky. And I remember they'd moved house, and he was delighted because every day she'd wake up and say, I love my new home. And so you could see the joy they took in each other. And the thing I remember that I found most fascinating was that they said that every day they woke up and made the decision that they wanted to be with each other. It was a daily conscious choice. And it wasn't that any day they were going to just jump and run, but it actually was a conscious choice every day. I'm here, I want to be here, and I want to be with this person. And I remember that being just so beautiful, because you could see it play out in their relationship, in their way of being with each other, and in their children as well. It was so lovely. It was such a nice lesson that you just reminded me of.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, those, now we talk about beliefs, and love is one of the most powerful forces, right? The challenge with love is that we have this belief that when we love somebody, we own them somehow. And I think one of the most challenging, most interesting distinctions that I've made in this book regarding love is the fact that you can love, but you don't own. And there is power to that. I love you, but I love you, but if you choose to do those bad things, bye. That is rough to accept. What do you mean? I love you, but I can let you go? Yeah. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Why? Because I don't agree with what you're doing. Yeah, I love you. That's how love should be, right? Not this possessive thing or the dependency. Remember, we have these dependencies that he reminds us in the chapter, about it. Whenever if she wasn't this, whatever, I'll be happier. If whatever, if that's dependency, So we have to remember those things, in relationships. This is some of the concepts that I'm trying to remember as we dive into this. I love it. I love this conversation. It's really good. Thank you. It's good to make it practical, right? And to bring it to our lives. How could we apply these concepts for real? Anything else in relationships on our team? We're good? Let's move on. We have, I think next one was charity. What concept is struck on charity? I think there was this person saying, I'm trying to make it on the stock market, not being successful. I should probably just put it all, give it all to the church and work for others. And this is it. I should stop, forget making money. Let me go and give it to everybody. Right? That's in a nutshell what he said. And what did Vadim said? Oh, and by the way, they all tell me what to do. And Vadim always says, hello. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you what to do, right? Nobody can tell us what to do. It's only one person can tell me what should I do, you know. One of the concepts that I love, it's crazy, but it drives me nuts, but it's really cool. God does not need your donation. That was one of the coolest things, you know, because you say, I have to go and donate to to God or whatever, my 10% or whatever. God doesn't need it. You think it's fascinating, right? It's quite interesting. It could bring a lot of controversy in many areas as well. But I think there's a very powerful distinction. I love his example with kids. The guy that gives all this money to the kid center, right? Oh, I contribute to the health of kids. But you don't interact with the kids. You really don't care about them. You really don't go and see what's going on or whatever. That is importance. And I think it's a reminder, those distinctions of when we do things because we want to feel important or like we're doing something good or might as well do, you know, versus really caring for something. And I thought that was powerful as well. Any thoughts on this? Go for it.
I thought it tied into that whole idea of not wanting money, but wanting what you want with the money. Like, for example, I want to make money so that I can go on a horseback riding camp with my kids and have this wonderful experience. I don't really want the money. And I felt like a lot of that charity stuff was talking about the same sort of thing. It's what is it that's important? What do you want to achieve? What's that feeling of it all, as opposed to the money, you're making that money the goal.
Exactly. And that's the beauty. When you know that's what you want to experience, an incredible time with your family, you know, one of the ways, horse riding, you know, then you don't get distracted by if I make the money, if I make dependent relations, right? If I make the money, then I can go on to the horseback ride. No. I think the reminder is, what is the experience? See it all achieved. And then, you know, the universe will bring it in different ways. So you get the calls, right? The calls of crazy things that you imagine. Yeah, it's a reminder of that. Any other thoughts on that? He reminds us to work on accumulating your own wealth without guilt. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to work on your own stuff. Some people say, no, I cannot. There's so much poverty around me. I cannot work on myself. Right? Another belief that God knows where it was implanted. I love this one. In terms of goals, a little reminder, it says, the goal, the ultimate goal, or the way to find it is, what would turn my life into one continuous celebration? What would turn my life into one continuous celebration? What are some answers to that? What would turn your life into one continuous celebration? Come on, I want to hear some shares. Just what comes to mind? Oh. Any courageous shares? Courageous shares. This is being recorded, but probably nobody's going to ever watch it, so it doesn't really matter. So, but one day maybe you'll say, go back and say, oh, I said this. What comes to mind? Jolanta, what will make your life a continuous celebration?
Well, I hate to disappoint you, Juan, but I mean, I don't know what to say to you other than my life is a continuous celebration. So I
No
mean,
disappointment.
I'm sure I can celebrate even more, but as as far as it is.
That's what it is.
Say.
That's what it is, and not because I want to enhance your importance, but not a lot of people,
You
not a lot of
realize-
people, not a lot of people can say that. So we might as well celebrate. That's amazing. Yeah. Carrie, do you feel there's anything that will make your life?
Dancing like an absolute maniac in sunshine to live music. I cannot wait for music festivals to come back. It's just my soul is not being fed with the things that bring it joy at the moment. And as much as I try to kind of find substitutes or do it in different ways, it's the dancing, it's the sunshine, it's the music. Art I can still experience to a lesser degree, but those things that really feed my soul is what I'm really starting to feel the absence of after a year.
Thank you. Beautiful. Shantae?
Let's see. For me, towards the end of last year, I realized that even in a pandemic, I found a way to fill my hours with things. And they weren't necessarily things that were horrible or that I didn't like, but I realized when I got still and checked in with myself, they were not necessarily things that were my doors. They weren't my they weren't my things to do. They were just things that were a good idea or that I could do, so why not? And so I started off this year with just listening to what my soul wants and showing up for those things. And I'm really busy, but I'm having a really great time. Just showing up on calls and classes, and I've already been asked to read for 3 different playwrights without even auditioning.
Awesome.
And so I think for me, it's just knowing what my soul wants and being courageous enough to say yes to it. Is the celebration is just saying yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Daniela, will make your life a continuous celebration.
I celebrate every day I wake up and take a breath.
Okay.
Grateful to be alive. What would give me a continuous sense of celebration going forward is to be able to travel again. I really, really miss traveling. That's where I get my inspiration and my juices flowing and connecting with different people and cultures, and just, yeah, exploring the planet and everything it has to offer. It's connection, connecting with people and experiences. I think that's been probably the most difficult for everybody with all these lockdowns and not being able to connect.
Yeah.
And do the things that we used to do in just, I used to go to dance. I used to be in all sorts of groups and yoga classes, and like I said, lots of travel. And now it's like nothing. And yeah, you do it online, I guess, yoga classes and stuff, but it's just not the same. I need to get out there and do it with others in person, real time.
Beautiful.
So,
Thank you. Yeah. And I also want to acknowledge Julie. I know she's on a video, but she's been very active sharing her thoughts. I know you've seen them there. And she said the same thing, right? More connection and physical well-being. Yeah, Julie, I will love you. Woo. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for me, it's actually that I love helping. I love connecting. So I just imagine that just connecting and helping, Two things that I dislike, that would make me just like that, is not having to write all these crazy notes and reports, and all the billing part of it. It's just like, ugh, just annoying. So just helping fully there, just going around, helping the world, not having to worry about all that other financial thing, crazy thing. That'd be really, really fun. So it's like just roaming, helping, and it's just a kick out of it. And then going and visiting my friends with the pools and the yachts. As it goes, as it's needed. Beautiful. So remember, define your goal and take steps towards it without considering how to achieve it, right? Remember how to achieve that goal. That's an important one. That's the end of that part. Define something. Yes, choose something that comes from your heart. Esoteric knowledge. Chapter on esoteric knowledge. That was fun. I love this one too. For those of us that love to keep reading, learning, and finding out, like another book and another class and another thing. Where am I going to find this? The answer to this? This person must have the answer. This other person must know it. Look, he keeps saying, turn focus of your mind, switch, right? Focus from your mind into your soul. Because here you will find the answer to all your questions. Shunte kind of alluded to that, right? Get out of this part and look for the answers in your heart. It's just amazing. It requires boldness to rely on yourself rather to continue to search for the answers around in books or courses or whatever. When we do that, we stay confused and we stay confined to the position of an eternal student. Who feels like touched by that one? Who feels like they still need to read and find the answer and how to do it well, and there must be a way to, there must be the right way to do my market. There must be a right way to do my job. There must be a right way to write this note. There must be a right way to, What if somehow, we could come up with our own ways? I've been watching this series on Bruce Lee. It says season 1. And I thought it was season 1, like most seasons would be 10 little chapters, right? No, this has 50. But anyway, having said that, luckily I stopped now, but I'm not done. But his story, that at least the way they depict it, is quite interesting. The guy really learns some skill, some way, but then he wanted so eagerly to learn other ways and adapting and come up with his own way. And the way they put it on this series is so beautiful. Because as I'm reading this, like, oh my goodness, this is what this guy was doing all the time. He learned new things, he figured out what worked for him, and he discarded what didn't. And a whole bunch of us just take whatever we learned for granted, and we take it and we swallow it all fully, right? So that's just so powerful, So he reminds us, look for your answers. He does say read. He did say read, study. You need some basics. Come on, yeah, we do need some basics. Some reference. Sorry, I didn't mention that part. We need some common language to talk and connect. But then the deeper things, the answer is down there, deep there. And I think this is very, very powerful. Because as you will know, COVID is the greatest example for that. Whatever you look, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. You can try this, no, you can try that one. The vitamin this, the vitamin that. This is good for everything. There's a study that tells you that everything is possible and not. We're looking about fats and no fats and the good fats and the bad fats, and too much of this is you go nuts. Is avocado good or is not avocado? It's not good. It's like, you really have to go back inside and ask, You really have to listen to yourself and listen and experience and see how it feels on you, right? So I think that's a reminder on that section, on get out of your head as much and feel. Ask the question and then come up with it. We talked about it on the previous chapters, right? How all these great inventors, that's what they did. They really work hard. Tesla, the guy was really working for that way, right? He was looking, he didn't know, because brains, minds, we've noticed, right, can only work with what they know. A mind cannot find the answer because it's there, it's limited to what it knows, correct? But the moment you say, I have this question, then you quiet your mind and you go into that space where everything else is there, where all this, we'll call it the space of variations, everything, right? Where everything else that we don't know exists. When you come with that answer, what is this? With that question, sorry. And then you allow your soul to get the answer, and then your mind, because it's prepared, grabs it and understands what that is and brings it into this world. That's kind of how this discoveries appear. That's the reality transurfing translation of how that happens, right? We read this, right? It's a way. That's how all these incredible guys, Edison, Tesla's, all these great guys came with all these discoveries. They had questions, they had powerful questions, and then they knew how to get into this space of that we're talking about: peace, quiet, relaxation, open your meridians. Ask the question, quiet your mind, and you get your answer, which is different. Nobody can tell you what that is for you. So accept as a fact that all knowledge is accessible to you. It's like you have a Google inside you. Google. Look to yourself for the answers, though. Walk your own path. I love it. It's like a little recipe, in a way. Exercise your right to individuality. Use your access to knowledge. And change the focus of the power of intention from others to self. In other words, it's your intention to focus on what you want. You do it. Ask yourself questions and wait for the answer. Ask yourself questions and wait for the answer. I thought that was very, very powerful. Be mindful of the heart. And he reminds us, right? Inner and outer importance obscures that unity of the heart and mind. It's the one that gets in the way. I love this one. No, this attracted me. Some of the concepts. If you have any other ones, please share them. You help solve other people's problems, not because you let them touch you, but in spite of the fact that they touch you. You must act dispassionately and detach. That's an interesting one, right? We were talking about somebody that I know dearly that when she worries tremendously about the kids. Oh, what's going to happen to my kids? My kids are going into trouble. Oh my goodness, look at what they're doing. When the kids don't behave, and we tend to just worry, right? Because they're not doing what we want them to be doing, And the challenge with that, be careful. Act dispassionately and detached. Doesn't mean don't do anything. Remember the word, one of the biggest things that we learned in previous chapters, care without worrying. Remember the difference? Caring, yes, care, do something, but don't worry. The worry is the extra energy, right? Of worry, it was, what's going to happen? They're going to get into trouble, the police, they're going to kill, they're going to blah, 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 blah. You're giving ideas with emotions that are powerful. And when you do, you start bringing into reality those sectors. So you have to be very mindful when we apply this concept, because it's very natural on us to worry about things. So it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder. You will all polish it in your own ways. In our world, in medicine, when somebody crashes, and we're babies, interns, the first few years, they always remind us, check your own pulse. Are you breathing calm? Because if you just tell, my patient is crashing, it's dying, what am I going to do? Then you don't do anything, right? You have to and take action. right? It's very similar in life when things really touch us and really hurt us and stuff like that, is that, act dispassionately and detach. Absence of importance versus absence of compassion is different. They're different things. Adopt the role of the participating spectator. So we're watching, but we're not deep into the, it's an art as well. When you hear terrible news, when something bad is happening, don't dive into it as well. Crush, oh my goodness, this is terrible. I don't know, somebody dies. Hearing that somebody dies is a terrible news. I agree, right? But you just don't want to go into this depressive state with everybody. Because then you cannot help, you cannot serve from that place. Right? Feel the compassion, feel the care. Yes. You just don't dive in there and get lost. That's the difference. It's just being aware. It's just being aware. So that way you can serve as a post for somebody that may need it. Somebody that's really deep there down, lost into their own, whatever you want to call it, It's powerful to be present, to be there. But this is true not only for the negative emotion, but also the positive. Some people get lost in extreme celebrations and craziness, right? This is true in every dimension. Remember, this is just a reminder of awareness. Some people get crazy on celebrations, get drunk, they do silly things out of that place. You have to celebrate, yeah, but be mindful of how all these things go. The absence of importance is a matter of detachment, not indifference. I think this is something just to cultivate. Help should be given with detachment, without distressing yourself, and only be given when it is asked for. I'm one of those that tend to give and give and give and get into all these things, and sometimes people are not ready even to receive it. They're not interested. And then you're literally, I found myself, blah, 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 blah. And one day I asked, what do you hear me say to them? So it's like, oh, okay. And I keep doing, but it's importance. It's me, the doctor, talking and learning, teaching all this stuff. They're not asking, really, I shouldn't do that. That's one of the things, one of the lessons that I got was that from this, a reminder for me was, yeah, I tend to do that. Okay. Any thoughts about that one? Knowledge, esoteric knowledge. The answer is inside, right? Get out of your head, get into you. Ask your own Google. How to win back the one you love? It's a reminder on. This was all a reminder on outer importance. Remember that chapter? When you want something from somebody, in a way, and want something from somebody's relative, remember? What you do is you give them what they need, what they want. When somebody feels that you're giving them what they want, they just want to give you back inevitably. Okay? And yes, there's a warning, Daniela. Daniela said, well, remember, they're evil and bad and all this stuff, but just be aware, be mindful. And he reminds us to relationship. What's the goal of a relationship? This was interesting. This I found interesting. The goal of a relationship is to find a partner that will fulfill our sense of self-worth. Remember this? We spend a whole chapter reviewing self-worth. We all want to feel special. We all want to feel loved. We all want to feel respected. We all want to feel all that self-worth. That's all self-worth, right? So somehow we're looking for somebody that listens, that, does something in a relationship. So it's important to remember that. So he reminds us about the first principle of frailing. Abandon the intention to receive. Replace it with the intention to give. And you will receive that very thing that you gave. Remember? Always, whenever you want something, you want somebody to understand you, understand first. You want somebody to love you, love first. You want somebody to whatever, fill up the blank. This person doesn't do well, give it to them. Whenever you find yourself, but this, am I really giving it by dropping of importance? That's the big thing, right? The dropping of importance. Success is achieving the path to the goal. And I'm not going to dive into these goals. Intention. What do we remember about intention? Remember intention? There's a chapter that we reviewed on, I think this was just like a quick review on all the chapters with intention. There's a chapter that says, I do not wish, I do not hope, I intend. Right? And that's what it is. What is intention? Is that this passionate, unconditional resolve to see your will manifest in reality. And the calm knowledge that this will be the case. I'll read it again. Intention is that this passionate, there's no problem, unconditional resolve to see your will manifest in reality. And the calm knowledge, this is just the knowing that this will be the case. But remember, there's no grip. There's no grip on control. It's going to happen this way, in this time, in this form. No, that's the beauty of it. You have to trust the space of variations, all the options. Go with the flow. Intention is pure when it's free of desire, fear, doubt, and other importance potentials. I remember that one. It's all these things that get on the way on intention. So it's always they accept you're as they are. I do not hope or want, I intend. And then there was this this little thing on reality inversion. How do you like that part? That was a little crazy. That was the last part, the last episode, the last chapter on. Remember reality inversion? Who got this reality inversion concept? You're like, I don't remember what's the last part. Oh, darn it, I didn't read that part. Oh. Just drop importance. Reality inversion is essentially, remember how we talk about playing with pendulums, react in an unusual way? That's kind of what it is. So give the example of them training, this terrible training in a school. The teachers were all, very tough. 75 started, only 20 graduate. Every time everybody was continuously trapped in tense. So what they did is the night before a big test, they all relax and have fun and play cards, and on purpose, they did the complete opposite. Reality inversion. Reality appears to be struggling, terrible, and you manage to just on purpose switch it to something, we're going to relax, have some drinks, and blah, 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 and tomorrow we'll take the test, and so what, And indeed, they flunk. I think they had a C's, and this guy, Vadim, supposedly got an E. So celebrating how it's possible that he won, he got the worst grade. The other guys got C. And then once they drop all that importance, I think they had a retake or something like that, and then they got an A. What's the concept here? Whenever we feel oppressed by something, is because we're putting too much importance somewhere. That's the reminder. Whenever we're trapped by something, whatever you call it, relationships, work, family, money, anything, whenever you feel trapped, or health, we're putting too much importance into something. Become aware of it. At least recognize, ooh, okay, I'm trapped by something. This problem is bothering me, strangling me. Where am I putting too much importance? Oh, I cannot deal with it. I don't have the resources to deal with it. I'm trapped in this relationship. I'm trapped with this commitment that I made on my work. I'm trapped. Somewhere you're putting too much importance. The moment you find what it is, one suggestion: do something creatively different. Invert reality, just for a break, and move on. So it's a way to deal with importance and to release the energy that you have trapped in that moment. So when it diffuses, you can do what you need to do, move with ease, which is the idea behind this. So you hear these concepts repeated and repeated in different ways, right? If you're trapped by something, there is importance somewhere. The only reason we're trapped is because there is importance somewhere. Internal or external. Become aware, react in a different way if you're trapped, really, really trapped. Okay, so you can play with it. Any concepts? Anything else that you want to share to close our great review this time? Was it fun? I thought it was fun, right? We review a whole bunch of chapters, a whole bunch of things. I'd like to hear a few words or whatever you want to share. Or
Can I just read something that I highlighted?
yes, please.
It says, in reality, our world is so rich and generous that it has enough wealth to go around as long as each individual moves towards their own goal through their own door. I just really love that. That's really powerful to just remember.
It's amazing. It's yes, I remember this powerful. It's not a marketing because he doesn't believe in marketing, but that's kind of what essentially he does. And he says, "There's nobody that competes with you. You're unique. You, the way you do things, is unique. Nobody can compete with that. Nobody can do it the way Carrie does it, Daniela does it, Shantae does it, Juan does it. It's just your own way. It will resonate with some people, not with everybody, but that's the beauty. The other ones will go with the other person, and the other person is just wonderful. There is enough for everybody. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Thank you for reminding us that. What else, Carrie? Whatever.
What's the question one?
Words for closing.
Words for closing. I found myself getting caught up in, because there's that just act, which is great. And I've done a lot of just acting in relation to my business. And now I just need to allow the things to just come. And I found myself getting caught up in it. So instead of working, I remembered what Yolanda said the other week about where she would just find herself asleep and not awake. So I've been trying to be a lot more aware of, like, I use my Pomodoro cube to detach. So I'm like, well, I've got so much to do. I could keep acting, or I'm going to go for a walk. So I started doing a daily walk outside, because where I live now is really beautiful, down by the water, and walking. And I'm like, oh, I remembered an idea I'd had probably in January, and it just kind of percolated. I came home, I went into my office after hours, which I just do not do. I signed up for a course. The woman interviewed me yesterday. I've been accepted into the program, and she said, do you have any questions? And I said, I don't need to ask any questions. I said, because I've been guided here, and it makes complete sense for the next stage of my business and how I'd like to serve my clients. And she said, oh, great, you're in. It's like, so hopefully this next program is just, it's going to give me more tools to help the clients I'm already working with, and probably attract some new clients too.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yolanda.
Well, haven't I talked enough today, Juan?
Never.
I'm not sure what what would you like a summary of what we were, or just
No, this is your last few words of wisdom, Yolanda.
My last few words of wisdom.
Enjoy the upcoming holidays. Easter holiday.
Okay, well, I'm cheating because my husband is listening, and he's saying, enjoy the upcoming holidays.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you, Walter.
Which we definitely will.
Well,
That's for sure. With in the spirit of love and
always
understanding that we have for each other, and the through commitment and joy and passion and fruits and yes. Thank you, Master.
Thank you. That was fun. Daniela.
For me, these last couple of weeks, since the last time we met, I've been doing a lot of that breathing exercise that you brought us last time, with visualizing the energy going, from the front and through the back. And there was a bit of a challenge situation that came up for me. And I used this tool that you taught us, and I was totally blown away at how quickly it helped to reorganize my energies. And then the answers just came so easily and effortlessly, and it brought me through the challenge at the other end rather gracefully, I guess I could say, without going into detail. But so I thank you for that. I'm finding that each time that I can come in to these sessions, I get so much out of it. And I try to implement the little nuggets that that you offer. And so I'm very grateful to you. Thank you so much for putting this on, and thank you to everybody who's participating. All of your little nuggets too are so beautiful, and so many of them resonate with my own stuff that's going on too. So I've been finding it very helpful. So thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. We love all your participation and stuff. I'll my last few words are what the summary of this chapter is about. It says, if you do not control reality, reality will control you. If you do not control reality, reality will control you. Very powerful. The essence of this chapter. Okay. So Cindy, what are we doing next?
Took the words out of my mouth. So next is April 8th in 2 weeks, chapter 16, Dances with Shadows. That's a juicy one. It's a long one. Just start reading it now.
Start reading it now. It's a long one. Actually, I was checking here. It's from 545 to 605. So that's like 55 pages, 60 pages. We'll do our best. We'll read it and have fun, and whatever we can, we'll review. If it takes us another week, another meeting, we'll do another meeting. There's no rush here. It's about learning. It's about implementing. It's about bringing it to practice. I think every meeting, I personally make some more distinctions, and I love the shares, because then we're like, oh, look at that. Yeah, that's really good. So I love the fact that you're here, and glad that you're enjoying it. And remember, this is all part of Big Warrior Sage, right? We learn, we share, we grow together, we arise together, right? That's the whole idea. Everybody in their own world, their own ways, their own beliefs, their own perspectives, that's all perfectly right. Move along, we learn, and we keep going along, and we support each other as well. That's the intention here. So it's always great having you here. See you next time.
See you all next time. Love you.
Bye,
Love
Julia.
you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, Julia.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night. Happy Easter. Bye-bye, Daniela.